Hi Aries, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your July 1st to the 15th, 2021 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Aries be affected by June 2021 full moon? How will Aries be affected by the June 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. How will Aries be affected by the June 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Testic. How will Aries be affected by the June 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. How will Aries be affected by the June 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. All right. So the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. Let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Two of Wands and the Nine of Swords. Interesting. Then in our inner self, we have the Ten of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Hierophant, which is Taurus energy, time frame April 20th to May 20th. If you're born on the cusp with Taurus, or you have it within your natal chart, this is going to be coming out quite intensely within your personality, this Hierophant behavior. Then we have the emotional self. The Ace of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, enhancing the Taurus energy, and the Three of Cups. And then in the public arena, we have the Seven of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, which represents us. In the minor arcana, we're represented by the Wands. In the minor arcana, we're represented by the Emperor in the major arcana. And then we have the Five of Wands. Very interesting. Okay. So we are dealing with a lot of burdens that we are carrying during this time, and they're weighing heavily on us. Emotionally, we're going to be able to move forward in a very distinct direction, but it's not going to be quick. So I know a lot of people during this time, we're going to want things to be quick, we're going to want things to be fun, we're going to want things to be rather instantaneous. Emotionally, and for us during this time, we're going to have to step back and say, you know what, I want quality instead of, speed, or instead of the quantity of things. I want quality. And that's going to be really important, to focus on the quality of things during this time. Let's look at our chakra energy. Aries, July 1st to the 15th, 2021 Aries, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. We have the inner child coming through. That's the heart chakra. And that's super important. Our heart chakra is always going to be just so important to us. And the inner child, we don't value that inner child enough. So let's look here at the energy we have to be mindful of. Aries, July 1st to the 15th, 2021 Aries. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. And this is the death card, Scorpio energy. Time frame, October 23rd to November 21st. Okay. So let's start off with talking about the heart chakra. With the inner child, and during this time, because we have a lot of burdens that we're carrying, we have doubts, nightmares that we're holding on to, okay? There is going to be a sense of, I can't look forward if I don't look to the past. And this doesn't mean judging myself. It doesn't mean being angry at myself. It means looking at the past and saying, I see me and I respect who I was and who I am. That there's power in moving forward and that there's beauty and passion in becoming. And this is a time, and this is an exercise I love to do myself, where you just visualize yourself with open arms, kneeling down to the child that you once were, being able to be swept up, hugged, loved by the adult you are and the child you were, saying, I will always be there for you, I will always listen to you, I'm here for you. There's a power to that. And that power, that inward power, and that connection of where I was when I was little and where I am now is coming together. And there's a sense here of being able to see the nightmares and being able to see the patterns, because a lot of the patterns that we have, a lot of the coping mechanisms, we create them when we're very small, and we think, okay, this will make everything better, I can fix it, because that's what children do. We try to fix things, but you can't fix everything. And a lot of times it can almost feel like you can't fix anything. Life happens around you, and there's a helplessness to that. There's a sense here of being able to connect and being able to bring power into the now. Instead of running away from the past, there is a stopping and looking at it head on. Now, the death card to be mindful of, we want a lot of transformation during this time. There are also people who keep secrets, and we ourselves can keep secrets. So this is a time of honesty and openness, not a time of oversharing or trusting the wrong people, but a time of embracing the heart and the soul, looking at things that we've kept just bottled up and saying, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not playing this game of shame, of denial. I'm moving forward into this world. Now, if that means that we talk to somebody who is a professional, that's great. If this means that we start journaling to ourselves, that's awesome. But what we do is we release. And that release stops the secrets. That doesn't stop the secrets, yeah. But it starts to bring light to the secrets. And as we start to reveal the secrets to ourselves, we can go deeper. We can see what that means. We can see the passion. We can see the hurt. We can see everything that starts to guide us forward. And it brings us to our rooted self. There's a reason why we're looking forward, and then we're going to want to put the brakes on everything instantaneously, because we have that excitement, that kind of carefree wonderment of a child and saying, okay, I'm going to do this. But then we have that fear, like, oh no, but I need somebody to come with me. I need this to be safe. And we don't have that assurity as we grow older. We just don't. We don't have that safety, that sense of illusion that somebody knows more than we do, that they'll be able to take care of us. They'll be able to protect us, our caregivers, our friends, anybody. So there is a sense of these burdens are mine to carry by myself as I look into the world. And the world is a scary place. It's a open, vast place. There's a multitude of possibilities. And so we're looking into the world. But we're starting to see a little bit more clearly, what do I want? Where do I need to be? How is it that I'm moving forward for me, not for anybody else? This is going to be a time, too, where we can feel ourselves pulled in two very distinct positions, very distinct ways forward. And the question is going to be, but who am I? Where am I going? What do I want? And we're going to start to carve out that piece of the world for us. And instead of comparing ourselves to everybody else, which is the easiest thing to do and the thing that's made so easy by social media, we start to look at who we were and who we are today. And if we're not moving forward, we have to step back and say, why? What's going on here? And what has made me stop, made me slow down, made me veer off track? A lot of it is going to be doubts and fears within ourselves. Can I do this? can I move forward this way? Do I get to have success? Or is part of the nightmare that I never get to? I never get to be a successful individual. I never get to be a happy individual. And so the doubts and the fears and the chaos, they come. And they make us doubt where we want to move forward within the world. They make us doubt where we're headed, what we want, and what we desire. And so in our inner self, because our roots is so polarizing at times, but it's also so intense, it brings us to the 10 of Wands. It brings us to carrying our burdens and thinking, this is my load to carry alone. Again, sharing it with other people is going to be helpful. Talking to a professional, talking to somebody who can at least hear us, or even just talking to ourselves out loud, journaling, again, doing some sort of release is going to be so important. Even if this is exercising, whatever this is, to be able to have that release guide us, being able to say, this is what I'm carrying. This is why I'm carrying it. This is what's overwhelming for me, and I don't want it anymore. That's going to be liberating. The 10 of Wands is we're carrying everything in our inner selves. It's you hear somebody complain. It's you start to look at things and think how it could be better. And instead of saying, you know what, this is what we're going to do as a collective, it's this is what I have to do, and I have to do it all by myself. And this is now on me, and it will always just be on me. Because we can only go so far with that before we become tired with looking at our dirt on our shoes, only seeing the ground, never being able to see the expanse of the sky. Stepping back here, being able to say, all right, I see me. I see what I'm carrying. I see what I want. I see my dreams. I can let them come forward. I can start to ignite my world into being. I can start to say, this is important. This gets a voice. I get a voice. Instead of carrying things for everybody else. And it leads us then to the Wheel of Fortune, which is another 10. In our inner selves, we're going to see ourselves changing in a way that we hadn't expected, in a way that makes us, I want to say more authentic, but it's more in line. It's more aligned with what we need from life, what we want from life, from where we're headed, what we desire. And so the Wheel of Fortune is entering into a new season. And the thing with the Wheel of Fortune is that we don't get to choose that season. You don't get to always have a summer or a spring or a fall or a winter at that, depending which ones you like the best. Divinity chooses the way that we're moving forward. We choose the way that our soul is advancing subconsciously. And so here with the 10 of the major arcana, with the Wheel of Fortune, we start to move forward. We start to see things differently. We start to enter into a new time. Now, it can be that for some of us, and this isn't, to take us by eyes, but it can be that you find yourself entering into a rather dark time, a time that is overwhelming or filled with doubt. We have to step back. What am I putting on myself? What am I carrying and having to maneuver that is too much? Then we look at things, and when they're a high time, when they're a time where we feel like we're walking on sunshine, okay, what am I doing here? How is this affecting me? How am I moving forward? Where do I need to be? And as we start to change, and the Wheel of Fortune is all about change, we start to see ourselves with more clarity, more insight, and more understanding. It brings us to the Hierophant. It brings us to the person who was the most powerful in medieval times. But it also brings us to being the most powerful for ourselves, to looking at things. Rules and regulations are going to be important to us. It doesn't mean that we have to follow the rule book for everything, but it does mean when it comes to our own individual desires, hopes, dreams, wishes, we have to stay true to who we are and not let anybody else bully us, move us forward in ways that we're not comfortable with. Excuse me, just let me take a sip of water. And then as we continue to grow within ourselves, as we own our power and what we desire, we find that stating what we want becomes easier. Stating what we're looking for, where we want to be, how we're moving forward becomes empowering, becomes invigorating, becomes, eye-opening. And we can start to do so more and more, and we start to unlock deeper truths within ourselves. Those are the kingdom of heaven, those keys that in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck are at the feet of the Hierophant. And so we start to unlock that which is most sacred to us, most important. And that really makes a difference, because during this time, we're looking at the sacred beginnings. We're looking for the profound roots of heart's truths and personal wants and needs and loves. And it leads us then to our heart connecting with our mind, with the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is God's source spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, cutting through doubts and fears, having us gain an understanding. And we're going to see here that with a sword is always a weapon. It can't be anything else. You have ceremonial swords, but that's just so that people don't carry their weapons into a place with other, dignitaries or nobles or whomever it was at the time. Here, we're taking that weapon that is our mind, and we're connecting it with the emotional realization and power of our hearts. So the mind and the heart is coming together, and it's getting a key. It's getting a powerful understanding of what we want, what we desire, where we want to be, how we're moving forward. It's logic, but it's also tinged with emotion. So not tinged with, it's aligned with emotion. That's a better way to state it. Our logic, aligned with our emotion, starts to open up our doors, our realizations, our desires, and our way of perceiving the truth to a powerful place that we want to be, and a powerful place that we need to be. During this time, we might say, I just feel it. Well, that's where we start to listen. That's where we have to listen. What do I feel? What am I growing off of? What am I growing from? What is it that I need, that I want, that needs to be a part of me? And it leads us to the Knight of Pentacles, slowly and steadily moving towards something that we value. Now, the pentacles can be a work of art. The pentacles can be money, but the pentacles can also be seeds that we are planting, slowly and steadily watching things grow. And there's power in that. There's power in watching something slowly become more than what it was. Slowly embrace beauty, slowly embrace joy, and a blooming into itself. And that's what we're going to be doing during this time. We're going to be looking at what we desire and seeing ourselves start to open up in ways that we hadn't expected. And this isn't going to be fast. This is going to be something that can actually be very painful as we move forward. We're cutting through so much of the negativity that has held us back, so much of the hurt that has defined us over and over and over again, so many of the coping mechanisms that we developed when we were little, and now we're going to see ourselves saying, you know what, no, I get to have something more. I get to break this pattern, and it doesn't even have to be our coping mechanisms. It could be the coping mechanisms of our caregivers, of the people who raised us, of, the partners that we've had. And so with the Knight of Pentacles, we start to see ourselves slowly moving towards something that we greatly desire, something that we greatly value, something that we greatly need. And it brings us to the Three of Cups. Now, the Three of Cups for me is always, 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 always the people in our lives who are supposed to celebrate us, who did celebrate us, but couldn't follow through. They just couldn't. They couldn't be there by our side. Now, sometimes we might sit there and say, okay, well, that's harsh, and I couldn't be everything to everyone, so, does that make me a bad person? No. But we're never perfect, and we should never strive for perfection, because that just leads us to striving for failure. With the Three of Cups, there's heartbreak and there's pain, because we wanted these people to be in our corner. We wanted them to like us enough. We wanted them to love us enough. We wanted them to care, and they couldn't. They would steal away that which we valued. They would sabotage our happiness, or they just wouldn't back us up. They wouldn't be there for us, and it was our fault, not theirs. And so with the Three of Cups, we need to look at that emotionally. How has that affected us? How has that scarred us? How has that hurt us? And also with the Three of Cups, then once we have done that, we also have to look at the people who stay in our corner, who love us, who connect with us. Even if that's just spirit, saying, I'm here for you, and I will always be here for you. That's a powerful thing. It's something that we poo-poo. We want to see, the Mega Millions. We want to see the big power names in our corner. But with the Three of Cups, it's looking at that quiet, gentle steadiness. And it's being able to understand, some people, they're just not meant to be in my life. And as hard as that is to accept, it is a powerful realization. It leads us then to the public arena. And that's the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is patience. In the public arena, again, we're going to want things like yesterday. All the time, from the 1st to the 15th of July, we are going to want things to happen so quickly, intensely, and powerfully. And the Seven of Pentacles is saying here, it's going to be on divine time, not our time. And so we might judge ourselves really harshly and say, oh my goodness, I didn't achieve this, I didn't do that, this wasn't what I wanted it to be, I'm not where it is I thought I would be when I became this old, when I, did whatever. It's like fair. But also I need to step back and see, am I doing my very best? And am I moving forward, even just one step every single day? If the answer is yes, then we're doing well. Stop being so hard on yourself. But patience is going to be paramount during this time. It just is. It leads us to stepping into our own power, the Queen of Wands. Passion and creation, fire and determination. We don't want the mundane. We don't want the everyday. We want something greater, something more. And so during this time, we're going to be looking for that. And this doesn't mean that we want to be the most highly acclaimed person in the room. We just want intense experiences. We want powerful morphosis of understanding and realization and power and coming together. This is magic. And magic doesn't have to be the conjuring of anything. It can be the simple realization that the fire within me drives me forward, that my passion will lead me, and that there's more to this world than meets the eye. And that's what I'm being driven towards. That's what I desire, and that's what I need. It brings us then to the Five of Wands. We have to be, and we're going to be looking at this, so we have to be very, very mindful not to get involved with other people's dramas. We're going to want to. We're going to sit there and think, I can solve that problem. I can help this out. Or this doesn't involve me, but I'm still going to kind of talk to all the people and make them not, we don't do this cognitively, but when we talk to everybody, everybody's going to think that we're on everybody else's side. So it's not isolating ourselves at work or at home or with our friends. What it is it's stepping back and it's saying, okay, I can't get involved in this and I don't want to. I'm going to step back and focus on what I need to focus on. And when people come to me, I will talk about work. I will talk about the thing that needs to be done, but I will not be dragged into the muck and the mire. Now, this can also be other people's fights. Like, family members calling you up and saying, oh my gosh, can you believe what this person said? And oh my gosh, can you believe what this other person did? Let them talk, but don't take sides. Because there's a thing, and Brene Brown says it. What if we're all doing our best? And believe me, I have a lot of trouble with that because sometimes you're looking at people and you're thinking, that's your best. Like, that's your best. Seriously. Like, what the heck is that? And so it can be heartbreaking. But what if we took others' expectations out of it and said, there's more to life than just failure and success. There's a journey of how we get there. And I'm not getting involved in the endless chaos, the endless arguing, the endless, what ifs. I'll be in the moment, but I won't be in the past or projected into the future. And so I'll stand here now. This can also be internal chaos that's coming up because we have the sense here of, am I doing the right thing? Am I moving forward the right way? So as we're moving forward, every next thought could be a contradiction, can be a doubting of ourselves, can be putting ourselves down, thinking, oh, I'm just not going to do this right, or oh, I'm just not going to get to where I need to be, or what is going on. So we have to be mindful of that. We're going to have this proclivity during this time to think less of ourselves, or to kind of beat ourselves up, say, well, if you did this, well, you should push the carrot out even further, and you should never be satisfied. So that is something that we have to be mindful of during this time. Let's go deeper. Please define the rooted self for Aries, July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Aries. Angels and spirit guides, angels. Okay, these two on top of it. So we have here the Queen of Pentacles, and then patience, the Seven of Pentacles again. As we look forward, we have the nightmares that come, the doubts, the fears, the negative thoughts that creep into our mind and say, I can't do this. And what's more, I'll never be able to do it. The Queen of Pentacles says, we have seeds to plant that are powerful and that are great. The Seven of Pentacles is telling us we have to be patient. We have to be patient because plants do not grow as quickly as we want them to. Even success, overnight successes, we usually hear of people, and there are some people who will just be overnight successes, and this is more so because of social media, but people really work at becoming overnight successes. It usually takes them like 20 years or some such nonsense to be able to stand where they are at the moment that we see them, at the time they become part of our sphere of consciousness. This is success and prosperity, and understanding that takes time, and being kind to ourselves. When doing so, there is prosperity to lead us forward during this time, and we're very grounded on this earthly plane. We have ourselves coming through with the Wands, with the Queen of Wands, that's grounded to the earthly plane. The Queen of Pentacles, definitely grounded to the earthly plane, so we have to take that knowledge and move it forward with us. That sense that I'm here and I'm present, and we might actually find that we're more present, more grounded than a lot of the people that we're talking to. They could be a little bit more flighty, a little bit more out there, so just taking into account the way that we are standing on this earth, the power that is a part of us. So let's go deeper then into our inner self. Please show me more deeply. Aries inner self, July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Aries. Please show me. So as we're gaining our prosperity and starting to claim our prosperity, we have the Two of Cups and then the Well. Now this deck has two more major arcana cards in it, the Artist and the Well. So the Well is where we pull our inspiration from. The Well is what nourishes us and quenches our thirst and helps us to move forward. Without water, we're screwed, right? And the Two of Cups is the minor arcana Lovers card. It's the healing, beautiful love that comes together, that brings unity. By quenching what our soul longs for, we start to heal. We start to become more united. We start to see the subconscious and the conscious powers of ourselves guiding and leading us. As we do this, show me more deeply the inner heart of Aries, July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Aries. Show me more deeply the inner heart of Aries, July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Aries. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Then when we are at our heart and we're cutting through so much and we're moving ourselves slowly and steadily forward and we're dealing with the pains that carry forward, we look at the Five of Cups and it says change your mind and change your life. Change what you're looking at. We're looking at the Three of Cups, which is right here. That betrayal, that stain, that hurt that we weren't expecting. We're not turning around to connect with our inner selves, which we see right here, right? With seeing the Two of Cups, our inner self is telling us, see the Two of Cups, see the emotional healing, see the unity, see the power, come together. And when we start to come together, then we have, if we can change our minds and change our lives, if we can turn away from only seeing the pain, then we have the Ten of Pentacles, prosperity that lasts for generations. It's being able to be inspired by what is older, what has more weight and gravitas to it, what is sacred to our world. We have this thing, we're obsessed, especially in the Western world, well, in a lot of the world, we're obsessed with youth. And we just think, I just have to stay forever young. I just have to. And here's the thing that Spirit says. You don't. And it is not appropriate to. The soul has to evolve. And the only way the soul evolves is by the embracing of deeper knowledge, of becoming one with wisdom. And if you can see here, the child is looking at the older lady, and then you have the dogs looking at her. It is going to be that which is more connected with the natural world that starts to see the gifts that come forward, that starts to see the prosperity lead us. Because the other two, they're involved in their own conversation. They're into the world right now. And this is the world that will be. and the world that is, and the world that has always been. One of prosperity and success and bounty. Maybe not financially right away, but building that wealth, building that power, building that understanding. That only those who aren't caught up in the muck and the mire see. And that's why we're being told here, change your mind and change your life. Be able to see the prosperity that will last for generations. It brings us then to our public arena self. Show me more deeply, Aries, public arena. Show me more deeply, Aries, in the public arena, July 1st to 15th, 2021. Aries, angels, and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading, and show me clearly. We have the Two of Cups again, inner healing, unity, coming together. We have the Ace of Pentacles, prosperity and abundance, and we have the Magician, who is absolutely taking all the gifts of the aces. So he's absolutely taking the gift of the Ace of Pentacles. And so here we have unity, healing, prosperity handed from God's source spirit, however you see the divine, the universe. And the Magician saying, stand before the altar of your universe. Stand before your altar and claim your gifts. As above, so below. As you believe it, so it will become. And we always take that as a blessing. But that's also in the realm of curses, which we're being told to be mindful of. We're being told to be very mindful of what our mind is focusing on the narrative that we're telling ourselves, because we will bring more of that into our lives, especially in the public arena. If we're worried about money, if money isn't manifesting the way that we want to, first of all, it's coming. There's a gift that's coming. There's a door that's opening. If we're worried about the power that we have, the way that we hold ourselves, the way that we move ourselves forward, we need to unite with the sacred masculine part of ourselves, the sacred feminine, with what we desire, what we want, what we need. We need to be in alignment and not care about the accolade, but care about the connection. And that brings us to the fighting, which we're not going to want, but somehow it's going to be drawn to us. And that's when, as above, so below. What I think, I create more of. And that is going to be powerful. And that's going to set us apart really quite intensely. So do be mindful of that. The Magician uses his gifts. He just does. He says, this is what I have. This is the power and the tenacity. That is me. And as he uses those gifts, he builds them. It's like exercising a muscle that hasn't been exercised for a really long time. It's atrophied. It's going to hurt. It's going to take time to build up the strength. But once you have that strength, that is an absolute benefit and a game changer. Okay, so let's go and look at the subconscious. Our subconscious chakra message is self-mastery. And this is the solar plexus chakra. Listening to our gut, listening to our insights, aligning ourselves with what we desire, with what we want, with the doors that are opening. That's going to be very important, because we're going to have a tendency to only see the doom and gloom and not give ourselves the credit and spirit the credit that we in spirit deserve. This moves us then to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, the Lord, ourselves. The Lord is the emperor within the Druid craft deck, and so here we stand. We have to be mindful not to get in our own way, not to boil everything down to power and will and force and achievements. But experiences are also really, really good. And to embrace those experiences. It leads us then to our subconscious rooted message, which is the Knight of Wands, us coming through. As a person who wants things to change, the Knight of Wands is brilliant and then not so brilliant, you know? It's kind of like when you're starting off. You do some brilliant things and then you do some not so brilliant things that when you look back, you're like, I don't even know why I did that. And that's going to be the energy around the Knight of Wands. Subconsciously, we want to move. We want things to change. We can find that, we're sitting there contemplating, cutting off all our hair or doing just something drastic for a change. And yet, if we step back a bit and we look at the bigger picture, we can say, oh, well, I can do this like this, or I can tweak this like that, and I'll get that major change that I want. I'll enter into a different season of being. But it doesn't have to be anything wild or overwhelming. It can be something very small. Like, it can be deciding to go to bed a little bit earlier, wake up a little bit earlier, and then, go for nice, quiet walks in the morning with the dog, or something like that. Something that doesn't seem like it would be a lot, but because we've gotten that blood pumping, because we've changed things, we start to change the whole rest of our day because we have done that. Now, our subconscious inner self is the Five of Swords. We're facing something during this time that we faced before. Because it's within the inner self, from the cards, it's a burden that we have to face, it's a change that we have to face, it's something to do with being able to say, but this is what I need from life, this is what I desire, without feeling ashamed about it, or feeling like we have to be accepted by everybody else. And as we embrace our power, as we embrace our tenacity, we start to see that others can't cut us down the way that they were used to. The old tricks, the old wounds, they're not as open and raw as they were. They might still be there. But if we are connecting with our inner child, if we're looking at what has just been weighing us down, we start to see ourselves moving forward in a very different way, and coping and dealing with things in a very different way than we had ever before. It brings us then to our subconscious emotional self, which is the Four of Wands. Emotionally, we want the happiness, we want the joy, we want the happily ever after, and the connection, the dance, the celebration. This can be new job opportunities. We can be wanting a change. Like, I want to change, and then it's like, why not my job? Why not look at moving somewhere differently? Why not, or somewhere different? Or why not looking at where I live differently? Why not exploring? Why not, opening up the doors? Why not? And the Four of Wands is calling for that. Why not? And then it brings us to our subconscious. And it's also the marriage, what is it? The Minor Arcana marriage card. So the Hierophant is the Major Arcana marriage card, and the Four of Wands is the Minor Arcana. So we can actually find ourselves married to an idea more, or moving to the next level within relationships, saying, no, I want more of this. I want more of whatever. I want to open up the door. I want to be surprised. I want the glory and the brilliance to come. And that's what I'm going to start celebrating. That's what my heart is guiding me towards. And then the subconscious message of the public arena is the moon. This is also Pisces energy, February 19th to March 20th. But the moon starts to open up ideas for us. The moon also has us facing our fears, which is what a lot of this time is about. Am I going to be afraid and be kept silent? Or am I going to look at what I deeply want, see the fear, and do it anyway, and move forward and open up my eyes and be inspired? Because the moon can bring quiet brilliance, but it also brings our fear, because we're sight hunters. So we're afraid of the dark. We're afraid of not being able to see things clearly. We can also be afraid in the public arena that we're not seeing everything that's there, that we can be taken advantage of, or that things will turn, or things will not work out because we've dropped the ball. We can't prepare for absolutely everything. We have to be kinder to ourselves. And the moon is guiding us to that. All right, Aries. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace our own power and our own determination. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aries.